Most data analysts think that mastering Python or SQL is what will get them ahead of 99% of the rest. But what if I told you that they are wrong? Because after working with thousands of data analysts, I keep seeing 3 skills that set you apart from the rest. And they have nothing to do with technical skills. In this video, we'll talk about those 3 skills that you need to get ahead of 99% of data analysts and finally get appreciation for your hard work. When I was a child, I remember we went on a camping holiday in France. And when we arrived, my parents started setting up the tent, but I didn't help them. I immediately took my towel and jumped into the swimming pool. It's not that I didn't want to help, I was just so curious and enthusiastic about diving in. I see the same with data analysts. When they get a new request for a dashboard, they jump into problem solving. They take their laptop and dive into the data and start analyzing. But this is a mistake, because you risk spending hours, days, maybe weeks to create something that people will never use. So first, you should understand the business need. But be careful here, because what stakeholders ask for is often different from what they really need. And you become valuable if you find out what's the real need behind that initial ask. But how do you do that? 300 years ago, the famous Voltaire already knew. Judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers. Here are my 3 favorite questions to ask when getting a new request. Number 1, why do you need the data? 2, what decision are you trying to make? And 3, what does success look like to you? When you ask these questions, you get a clear picture of their current needs. And that's great, but there's still one problem. Because if you don't learn the next skill, stakeholders will still don't act on your insights. Imagine you're flying from Amsterdam to Kenya, but you're flying 1 degree of course. Only 1 degree. But it's the difference between landing the plane in Kenya or Somalia. I see the same in data projects. I see people build a dashboard, deliver it 4 weeks later, and then see that no one is using it. They didn't realize they were flying off course. To avoid that mistake, there's one more skill you need to learn so that people appreciate your work. So let's learn from John Cotter, Harvard University professor. He shares 3 tips for the second skill: get buy-in from stakeholders. And these tips will make stakeholders fall in love with your insights. Many data analysts like to make things perfect before showing their work to others. But if you do that, you risk flying off course. And as a result, you spend weeks on a dashboard that no one ever uses. That's why you should always show an early draft of your dashboard. And then ask your stakeholders, is this going in the right direction? Ask for feedback, listen and take notes, and show that you care about their input. You'll be able to correct your course based on their insights. But that's not the only thing, because if you ask for feedback, they will feel more involved and emotionally invested. They feel like they are co-creating the end product, and as a result, they become a big fan of your dashboard or of your insights. They might even tell other stakeholders, very senior ones, how amazing your dashboard is and how much you've helped them. But now you might think, phew, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't have much time to meet all those people. And I understand. But the good thing is that even a 5-minute meeting or a short email shows that you care about them. They feel involved, you get their buy-in, and they appreciate your work. And that brings me to tip number 3, communicate progress. Even when there's a really small win, let them know. A quick email or Slack message will make a big difference. But we're not there yet, because even if you show an early draft, ask for feedback and doing all that hard work, then if you present your insights in the wrong way, people will still not use your work. And that's why you need to learn about another skill: data storytelling. Most data presentations I see go like this. Here's some data, here's more details, and here's even more data. But to the audience, this is super boring. Let me give some examples. Here's how not to present your insights. Our website redesign has led to 20% uptick in overall traffic. And the average time visitors spent on our website has doubled. And our newsletter signups have surged by 30% this month. So what's the mistake here? And. It's a toddler telling a story. No problem and no recommendation. So now let's improve it together. We're going to use a framework created by Harvard University professor Randy Olson. And it's called the and, but, therefore framework. You start with the and. This is where you set the stage by introducing the context. Share the business question or your initial findings, things that everyone kind of agrees on. And then comes the but. You introduce a problem that's relevant for your audience. The but introduces tension and makes people want to act. And step 3 is therefore, and this is your recommendation. It's the solution to the problem you introduced in the but section. With the and, but, therefore framework, your presentation isn't a flat line. Your presentation becomes a compelling narrative. Let's now improve the bad example I showed earlier. Here's the better version with the A, B, T framework. Our website redesign has led to a 20% uptick in overall traffic, and the average time visitors spent on our website has doubled. But we haven't seen the same level of growth in our actual product sales. Therefore, we need to analyze our funnel to ensure the increased engagement leads to more sales. Do you see the difference? Let's have another example with inventory costs. What's not effective is this. We've expanded our product range by 30% and operational costs are 25% higher and sales are up by 15%. So what's the mistake here? It's a list of facts, it's not showing the impact on the audience, and there's no recommendation. So here's the more effective version. We've expanded our product range by 30% and sales are up by 15%. The sales team is super excited, but there's a significant challenge, because this expansion has led to a 25% rise in operational costs, directly impacting our profit margins. Therefore, I propose we develop a predictive forecasting model. This tool will accurately forecast market demands, helping us to optimize our inventory and reduce costs. See the difference? The ABT framework converts your data into a compelling narrative that makes people want to act. So, I hope this was helpful to you. More videos on data storytelling are coming, so if that's what you care about, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.